Hello there and welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be reviewing the second episode of season 2, and that is Lux. So let's get into it. So what did I think of this episode? I really like this episode. I know some people may not like it, but personally I think this is one of Ncuti Gatwa's best episodes so far, at least like top 3. I thought it was a really sort of like great sort of like semi-historical. I love how it was set in like the early 50s, 1952 or 1953 I think it was. I thought the setting was amazing. One thing that keeps stuck in my head, the Mr. Ring-a-Ding song. I have not stopped singing that since Saturday. It's just been like going on in my head. Mr. Ring-a-Ding, I make your heart bells sing. Yeah, that one. It's just like never. It's just not getting out of my head. And I watched the episode again the night before filming this review, and yeah. So my thoughts sort of like solidified. So I usually watch it the night it comes out on normal time on BBC One. And then I watch it again, more sort of critically, more analytically, sort of like get a sort of like solid view of the whole episode. One thing I thought could have done better was maybe showing how they sort of got trapped in the I don't know what you call them, like sort of film frame things, how they got trapped in that film reel thing. Yeah, I thought if it showed how Lux did that, I think that would have been really good. And one thing I did really love is the sort of section where he sort of turns bad and he's sort of revealed to be one of the pantheon of gods. I thought that scene where like you just see like his eyes sort of like change, and then he just switches like that into sort of like an evil being, whereas like I'm the last thing you see before you go mad, like the last thing in the abyss. I think that bit was just amazing. It just gave me chills, and I think that bit was beautifully written. I think this one was written by Russell T Davies. I'm not 100% sure, but I thought that bit was beautifully written. One thing that I wasn't a bit of a fan on was the sort of breaking the fourth wall. Breaking the fourth wall with sort of like the Doctor Who fans. I loved sort of like the idea of it and when they were doing it, but how they sort of like did like the cliche fan with sort of like, I would have liked it if when the Doctor said, what's your favourite episode? I would have liked it if they all said a different one, because I know Blink's a good story. Personally, not my favourite. I still like it, great story, but I don't think everyone in the Doctor Who fandom can agree that their favourite story is Blink. I just think that's sort of more what like a casual fan would say. Like the amount of people I've spoken to, who have watched Doctor, they're like, oh, the one with the Weeping Angel episode and David Tennant on the telly, that's my favourite. I think that was chosen because that's the episode that most people recognise. I mean, if you said, I don't know, maybe Heaven Sent, again, great episode, or The Doctor Falls, a casual audience member probably won't know what it is, but if you say Blink, and then they'll probably know. And also seeing like all the like Easter eggs in the background, not literal Easter eggs, but like the DVDs and sort of like the collection sets, and like some of like the steelbooks and the animations. That was great to see. I had a fun time pausing that for a good like 5 or 10 minutes and spotting everything, seeing what DVDs they had. What did annoy me though, and I don't know if it annoyed anyone else, is that they weren't in chronological order, and that really annoyed me, because they displayed like season 20, the collection set first, and then like the standard edition of season 10. That really got on my nerves, but I loved that scene. That's probably the only sort of gripe I have with it. I love the breaking the fourth wall part, because we do know that the Doctor can sometimes be aware that he's got an audience by like looking at the camera every now and then. But yeah, I love that scene. I don't really see anything wrong with it. I love the again the addition that they made of sort of acknowledging that the Doctor and Belinda are like a different skin colour, and they would be treated differently in 1952, 1953. I like how they acknowledged that and didn't just sort of like brush past it. I thought that was very good. And talking of the Doctor and Belinda, Ncuti Gatwa, I think, again, is amazing, amazing in this, like he always is. I thought the bit where he was sort of talking to Tommy Lee's mum, I thought that bit was great, where it was like, does it signify hope to you? And then the way he smiled, it was just so comforting. And I think Varda Sethu as Belinda, I think she's really came into her own now. Already we're 2 episodes into her character. I already think she's a really great companion, and I'm really looking forward to see the rest of her. But yeah, another thing that I maybe have a gripe with is that they didn't really like show any of the other people who were kidnapped. Would you say kidnapped? Anyway, yeah, the people who were taken. They sort of focused on Tommy Lee, and I get it that he's a child and it's sort of like meant more, but I would have maybe liked to have seen the story of like the other 14 people that were taken. I think that would have been a lot better. And also the scene with the caretaker, can't remember his name, but I loved that scene with like his wife. I thought that really got me like a bit emotional. And also the way that the animation was done for Lux, I think that looked amazing. It very much reminded me of sort of like the early Disney cartoons from like the 40s, 30s, somewhere around there. It very much reminded me of that, and I love the scene where it sort of like breaks out of the cinema wall as well. I think the way Lux has been animated and done, I think it's been hand-drawn. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that though. I think the way Lux has been drawn, absolutely amazing. It looks great. Would have maybe liked to have seen him do a bit more evil stuff, maybe like destroy a few more things. It was sort of very much confined to that rooms, and I didn't hear if they mentioned it, but obviously cinemas do have other screens. I don't know if that one did, but I would have maybe liked to have seen the Doctor and Belinda and Lux in like another part of the cinema, where he's doing some sort of evil stuff. And I loved how they used the projectors as sort of like weapon things to like sort of suck them into the film. I thought that was good. I would have maybe liked to have seen maybe like a cartoon like sort of fight, sort of a bit like Tom and Jerry, that kind of thing, went between the Doctor, Belinda and Lux. Maybe sort of like how you see a stereotypical cartoon fight. I think that would have been really good. Maybe a bit too childish, but I think if they did it in the right way, I think it could have been good. And also, of course, as well, at the end, we got a little cameo from Anita Dobson as Mrs. Flood. I'm really intrigued now. Like every time she sort of like draws it, and like every time whoever I'm watching it with, like the room just sort of goes silent, and then it just sort of like draws you in. And when she said it's a limited run ending the 24th of May, like I was thinking, oh my god, what's going to happen? Who is she? What's happening on that day? And then I looked through my calendar on my phone, and that's the day of the penultimate episode of this season. I can't remember which one it is. I think it's The Story in the Engine, something like that. But yeah, it's the penultimate episode. So what's happening in that, and then what's going to be because we know it's a 2-parter finale. So what's going to happen in that one that'll end on that day? But then there's also one more episode left. I'm really intrigued for that. So, and I really want to know who Mrs. Flood is. So, yeah, and Anita Dobson, I think just every time she comes on screen, sort of like the music plays, which I think Murray Gold has done a great job in this. I think as well he composed the Ring-a-Ding song that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. And every time like she comes on screen, the music's sort of like, it's weird to explain. It's sort of like quietens down, but also like lifts up, like the whole room just sort of goes silent and just really like draws you in, and like she just sort of like gives you chills and makes you like fear her, and she's just sort of like seems evil but also a bit creepy as well. Just amazing acting on her part, and I'm really intrigued to that mystery. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to next week with, I believe it's The Well. There was a Next Time trailer at the end of the episode and a sneak preview in Doctor Who Unleashed. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that episode. Looks kind of like a horror one. Reminds me a bit of Waters of Mars, a little bit. A bit of Waters of Mars, a bit of the Satan Pit as well, and a bit of Sleep No More. It reminds me of sort of those. So I'm really looking forward to this one. This was one of the ones when we saw like the bit of with the spacesuits and the falling in the trailer, that sort of like drew me in and sort of like grabbed my attention. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that one. And yeah, this season's shaping up to be really good so far, judging by the first 2 episodes. So let me know what you thought of this episode, and let me know what you're looking forward to in this season, and what your hopes are. Let me know in the comment section down below, and hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.